Good afternoon, everyone. Call this meeting to order. The board secretary will now call the roll.
Chair Sen,
Here.
Vice Chair Mejia, Director Angeles,
Present.
Director Anyorve,
Here.
Director Rawlings, Director Thrash Untuk. Director Mejia and Director Thrash Untuk have been excused. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Now Jen Flores will present the December 2023 and January 2024 Employees of the Month.
Good afternoon, Chair Sen, members of the board, and Mr. McDonald. I am Jen Flores, Board Secretary. In support of LBT's strategic priority of fostering employee engagement, it is my pleasure to acknowledge the Employees of the Month for December 2023 and January 2024. For December, we have Operator Preston Wicks, who has been employed with LBT for 22 years, and this is his third Employee of the Month nomination. In the last few months, he has kept an impressive level of service by leaving our yard and arriving at bus stops on time throughout his assigned route. Preston always has a positive attitude and is a great part of the team. Mechanic Mark Juarez has been employed with LBT for 15 years, and this is his sixth Employee of the Month nomination. Mark started with LBT as a utility worker in 2008, and within a year was promoted to mechanic. Mark spent 5 years as a Mechanic C before advancing to a Mechanic B, and again within a year was promoted to Mechanic A, where he has been serving since 2015. Mark consistently exhibits a positive and diligent approach to his work. His commitment extends beyond individual accomplishments as he consistently goes the extra mile, garnering respect from colleagues. Friendly, helpful, and perpetually positive, Mark is a valued and dedicated member of the Long Beach Transit team. Brenda McGuire is a supervisor for facilities and infrastructure and has been employed with LBT for 2 years. This is his first Employee of the Month nomination. He has been managing all facilities for almost a year, a task that typically requires 2 full-time positions. Brendan is a dedicated and hardworking employee. Brendan has consistently demonstrated a high level of responsiveness to facilities issues reported. He goes above and beyond to address these concerns promptly and efficiently. Brendan is a true team player who is always ready to help whenever needed. Brendan has effectively leveraged his resources to tackle the most pressing matters and provide support across the organization. His ability to handle the workload and maintain a proactive approach is commendable. And for January 2024, we have bus operator Kelly Williams, who has been employed with LBT for 33 years, and this is her first Employee of the Month nomination. In the last month, she has kept an impressive level of service by leaving our yard and arriving at bus stops on time throughout her assigned route. Kelly has provided decades of great customer service to the community. Mechanic William Barr has been with LBT for 21 years, and this is his first Employee of the Month nomination. William began his career as a bus operator before transitioning to the role of mechanic. He possesses a comprehensive understanding of our diverse fleet and effectively addresses its maintenance needs. His thorough approach to daily duties ensures the proper functioning and safety of LBT1 buses and vehicles. William takes the initiative to advise new employees on procedures and practices, contributing to a culture of knowledge sharing. His professionalism, coupled with a friendly and genuine attitude, makes him a respected figure within the organization. And Aranza is the manager of communications and marketing and has been with LBT for 2 years. This is her first Employee of the Month nomination. She has fostered employee engagement by updating LBT's quarterly employee newsletter and the company intranet as well. as well as developing regular communication updates to bus operators. Most recently, Aranza led efforts to put on the 60th anniversary employee recognition event, going above and beyond to ensure a successful event. In just under 2 years, Aranza has established herself as an important part of the LBT management team, working on a range of projects and promoting LBT's brand to customers, the community, and key stakeholders. It is my pleasure to now present these valuable members of the Long Beach Transit team.
My name is Mark Juarez. I've been at Long Beach Transit for 15 years now, and I'm an A mechanic. I enjoy doing road calls, working on the road, taking care of the buses, keeping them all in service to provide service for our customers. I'm very grateful for having the Employee of the Month, and also very thankful for being Employee of the Year.
My name is Brendan McGuire. I am Facility Supervisor here at Long Beach Transit. Been with the company just about 3 years now. Favorite part about working at LBT is helping people get around and helping our public transportation agency. I feel like being Employee of the Month is a great honor and feel very appreciated.
Hi, I'm Kelly Williams. I've worked at Long Beach Transit for 33 years as a bus operator. My favorite part about working at LBT is my co-workers and the customers. It feels good to be recognized as doing a good job on the job.
Hi, I'm William Barr. I'm a mechanic here at Long Beach Transit, and I've been working here for 21 years. My favorite part at working at LBT is the co-workers. They're just the greatest people on the planet. I've worked here a long time, and I'm grateful to be Employee of the Month.
Hi, my name is Aranza Chavarria. I'm Communications and Marketing Manager, and I've been with LBT for a little over 2 years. I have two favorite parts about working at LBT. The first is the people who serve Long Beach Transit. From our bus operators to our mechanics to our administrative staff who care so deeply about providing reliable and sustainable transportation services. The second is serving my community. I chose Long Beach as my home, and it makes me really proud to serve such a diverse community. Being selected Employee of the Month feels incredibly rewarding, and I share this with my entire team, my counterpart, and my leader. This is a true testament of the collective efforts we move forward, as we all come into work striving to make everyday life better for our customers and our fellow employees.
Thank you to all the employees of the month for being dedicated to connecting communities, moving people, making everyday life better. We appreciate all our essential workers, especially our own. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to ask for any public comment on this item. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Excuse me. Item 4, public comment. This is the time at which members of the public may speak on non-agenda matters. Prior to inviting speakers to approach the lectern, I need to state the following. At this time, I invite members of the public who want to address the board on any matter that does not appear on the agenda and is within the board's jurisdiction. If you have not already done so, I ask that you submit a speaker card to the board secretary. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Agenda item 12 will provide additional opportunity for members of the public who want to address the board on any matter that does not appear on the agenda and is within the board's jurisdiction. The board is here to receive comments only, and there will be no exchange of dialogue with the commenters. Are there any public comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the President and CEO's report. Ken?
All right, works. Good afternoon. Chair Sutton, members of the board. I am Kenneth and all who assembled here today. I am Kenneth McDonald, President and CEO at Long Beach Transit. My monthly report normally highlights some of the accomplishments and ongoing activities centered around our strategic priorities. As we all know, our strategic priorities are improve safety and service quality, exercise financial accountability, foster employee engagement, enhance our customer experience, and promote community and industry focus. I'm standing up here today because I want to acknowledge one of our long-term employees who is retiring from the organization. I want to call Patrick Pham to come up here with me today. Thank you, sir. So Patrick has been with Long Beach Transit for over 22 years and have decided that it's time for him to spend time and go traveling across, what did he tell me? Yeah, babysitting would be one of them, but he's he's going to get on these, something that I don't like to do, that's why I never remember it, is get on boats and go sail around cruising. I am not a cruise person, so I don't like cruises, but he's going to take his grandkids and go cruising is what he tells me, across the world. So he has worked, he's the head of, been hired of head of IT, as the executive director and VP as long as I have been at Long Beach Transit. So, and he's been here since 2004. He's done a lot of things in terms of converting a lot of our manual operation into automated systems. And we will continue to do that because after Patrick, I'm going to introduce you. We have already identified his replacement or the person who's going to take over his job. So Patrick also brought a lot of the infrastructure upgrade into the organization. And he was very instrumental in all of the things that we're seeing here today that has to do with technology. One of the last job Patrick had was getting this building, as we move in the conference room and the offices, all technologically connected. And it's still going on as we speak right now, but he has been an important part of that. But I want to be able to take this time today to congratulate Patrick for what he has done for the organization and to present him with this plaque that he is going to put somewhere in his bag as he goes cruising around. That Patrick Pham, the Executive Director, Vice President of Information Technology, 2001 to 2024, in recognition of your 22 years of service to Long Beach Transit. Best wishes in your retirement. Congratulations. So if I can call the chair to come up here and take a picture with him. Thank you very much. So you get to say something while.
Okay. Thank you. I did. I have prepared. I am prepared. Okay. So thank you, Mr. McDonald. Thank you, my fellow directors. When I started here 22 years ago, well, it's not just that. I always joke around, those who know me. And I always joke about the fact that I'm going to be working here until somebody carries me out. Well, I found the grandkids came, priorities change. So I do think that it is time for me to move on and hang out with my grandkids. But I do want to say that working at Long Beach Transit, it has been more than a job. It has been a journey for me. And every day brought its own adventure. And from navigating part of our budgets and celebrating our successes and milestones. I have lived, I have learned, I have laughed, and I have known more in buses than I have ever thought possible. So I do want to express my gratitude to to CEO McDonald and to the leadership team. Your guidance has turned this job into a masterclass of leadership, of teamwork, and the art of running a transit agency. So to my colleagues, you are the heart and soul of Long Beach Transit. Your dedication and hard work help keep the city moving. And I have been really, really honored to be riding alongside of you. And although I'm really looking forward to the next chapter of my life with the grandchildren, I live in confidence that Long Beach Transit is in the best of hands. And so please keep those buses rolling, and here's to 100% OTP. Thank you.
So there's another, this is also for you.
Thank you, sir.
Open it now if you want. I'd like
I really did not expect this. I really did not. I know, so I was prepared, but I did not expect all of this.
Nice. I hope that's electric.
It says, celebrating LBT's diamond anniversary in recognition of your many years of service. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
So about 6 months ago, Patrick told me that he was considering this, and I said I wanted you to stay on because I wanted to make sure that we had flow in our organization. So we immediately started recruiting, and Patrick was part of the assistance with me and the deputy CEO to search for a replacement. I wouldn't say a replacement, for someone to fill the job that Patrick was vacating. I want to introduce Miss George, if you can come up here. And I know everyone would be just like me when I first met, and her name is Pretty George. I guess you can she wanted everyone to know that. I was the first thing I asked, how did you get a name like Pretty? I don't know if she's gonna tell you about it, but I want to welcome Pretty George, who is our new executive director, VP of Information Technology. I would give her an opportunity to say a few words, but I'm really impressed in the first week or 2 weeks that she's been here and what she has done for us already. So
Chair Sutton and members of the board. Thank you, Mr. McDonald. I am so privileged actually to be able to work at LBT. I come from a healthcare background where I've been able to service patient-centric technology, and now I'm able to bring my experience to actually help our transit members. So I'm very excited. Now, the question about the name, I will say my dad spelled it wrong. So I guess it should be, I don't want it to be on file, but I guess it will be on file. No, but my dad did spell it wrong, and that's how I got it. But I'm very proud of having the name. It actually lets people know who I am. But to my new LBT family, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to be able to give back to my community and leave a good legacy. So thank you.
Thanks. I'm going to do one other thing up here, or maybe I'll just finish it up here. One of the things that we do each year, we have an employee recognition that in some time in early December, we recognize for safety, attendance, perfect attendance, people who came to work every single day. There were 30 something people that work every day, never missed a day of work, except for vacation and maybe vacation mostly, and special time off. We also look at employee of the year. We recognize people for safety, a lot of safety recognition for safe driving. We had a number of drivers this year who drove all through the year and never had an accident. That is a very important part of what we do. But one of the things that is really critical are the employee of the year. So we pick an employee of the year from bus operator to a mechanic and a staff employee. We had 3 employees this year. You saw Mark Ruiz there. Mark was selected as the utility or maintenance employee of the year. You saw him, and the employees of the year are selected from the 12 employees the 11 employees for the 11 of the month of the year. So we pick from those become the employees of the year. So he has been with us for 5 years, and he was a very progressive person. He started as a utility, became a C mechanic, then a B mechanic, and again, now he's an A mechanic. So this is a guy that consistently look at ways to improve himself, and in improving himself, improve the organization with some of his accomplishment that he has undertaken over the last couple of years. The other person that was recognized was Nanette West. Nanette had been with the organization for I think 26 years, and she was if you meet her, the first thing that you see is her smile. She never seemed to stop smiling. Whenever I see her, she has that outgoing personality that you want to see with someone who operate a transit vehicle for Long Beach Transit. And she was tremendously surprised and really appreciative of being recognized Employee of the Year. And the third person that was recognized as Employee of the Year is sitting right here, Wally Akinyenka. Wally is an IT technical person with the IT department, and really has given really great customer service. But specifically why I selected him is I think I reported that, no, I not think, I reported it before that late last year, we had a cyber attack on Long Beach Transit. It was, we were very fortunate that what they attacked was not one of our live computer system. We had a meeting, online meeting. I think there were 50 people there, starting with the FBI, with Homeland Security, with the local police department, with everyone looking at, because it was a real attack. Yes, they did not get into our system. And Wally was the person that stayed up there, and I had to tell him that to go home. You go home because he was here making sure that everything that we did was done right to protect this organization. And I think that kind of dedication is what we want to see with employees in our organization. So I want to congratulate the 3 people, specifically Wally and it, who have been recognized as Employee of the Year. I would end with one other thing that I'll talk about. The community events. We had the state of the city. I know that we invited, most people already had tickets from other places, but a lot of our our staff attended the state of the city. There was not a lot of recognition this year about Long Beach Transit, but I guarantee you next year you're going to see that. There was a reason that happened. I spoke to the mayor about what we can do about it, and we will look at things that we're doing, how it becomes part of what happened as we go forward. It has happened every year in the past. Transition, things happen. We're going to solve the problem and go forward, looking at the things that we do to make this organization great. But one of the other things that we did, we had the MLK parade, and Director Anove came out and was the flag banner with myself and other staff members who really represented. I think that's the picture back up there. No, that's not. That's it? Yes, that's the banner that we have. We are looking to step up our presentation. I know I spoke to Jocelyn about what we do. I think we can be more festive. And when we go into these parades, but we had a really good turnout of employees and a pretty good parade also. And I really thank the director for being there with us in helping our staff recognize MLK Day, which is such an important day in transit for all of us, because that's a person that had a lot to do with transit, together with why we named this board. One of the people that we named this board was really about the use of transit for people who need it the most. We had a number of other events that we attended also. You can, I listed of them up there. I will not go through each of every one of them, but one of the things we spend a lot of time with is going to job fairs and looking at ways that we can encourage people to join our organization. With that, I will end my report for the month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Is there any public comment? Okay, hearing no public comment, we can move on to the consent calendar.
Chair.
Yes.
Do you mind if I just say something real quick?
I don't mind at all.
Thank you, Ken. I just want to thank Jocelyn as well, not to contradict Ken's statement, but I really appreciate all the work that she put into decorating the bus. It takes a lot of work, and her team and Mike. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we move on to the consent calendar. All matters included on the consent calendar are considered routine by the Long Beach Transit Board of Directors and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the Board of Directors or the public so requests, in which event the matter shall be removed from the consent calendar and considered as a separate item. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So move.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Thank you. So, I'd like to call for the vote. If you're in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say nay. Are there any abstentions? Okay. Should I do, are we going to do a roll call on this?
We'll do a roll call.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. I got it working. But Chair Sutton?
Aye.
Director Angeles?
Aye.
Director Anyorve?
Aye.
Director Rawlings?
Aye.
Director Threshentuk?
Aye.
Director Mejia has been excused.
All right, thank you. Now we move on to the regular calendar, the monthly financial report. This is agenda item 7. Monthly financial report will be presented by Lisa Patton.
Thank you, Chair Sutton, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and to everybody assembled here today. My name is Lisa Patton, and I'm the Executive Director and Vice President of Finance and Budget. I am before you today to present the monthly financial report for December 31st, 2023. So first, we want to thank you for your active encouragement as we work to continually improve our communication. As you can see, this month you will notice the financial presentation is also on the screen. This will help us to strive for collective understanding, and in the coming months, we'll work to continue to further enhance our communications on the financial status. So looking at the first page, we can see it's a statement of revenue and expenses, and you can see highlighted there, it has the month of December 2023, which gives us the monthly comparison. To the column to the left is to 2022, and then to the right is the budget. On the right side, you can see highlighted there, it has the year-to-date 2024, and to the left of that, you can see where we were year-to-date 2023, and to the right is year-to-date budget. So the first thing we'll look at is total operating revenue, and that's the revenue that Long Beach Transit directly generates. You can see in looking at those categories, the first one is passenger fares. And this year continues to trend favorably. This for the month of December, we're at 105%, and year to date, we're at 106%. Next is dial-lift fares, which have been consistently running in the 90 to 92% of budget, just below where we were last year. Aqua service fares, the month of December, the aqua services did not run. Special event revenue for the month included a charter for holiday touring. Next, you can see is the advertising revenue, and the amount reflected here is the minimum annual guarantee. And then interest and miscellaneous is an area. Interest income has been trending up, and we also reflect fuel tax credits there. So overall, total operating revenue is at 133% for the month, 118% year to date. Next, we'll drop down to the subsidy revenue section. And you can see that on the state, county, and local, they're right on point at 100%. Under the federal, you'll see there that is below budget, and that reflects the timing of when we do the drawdown. So overall, total revenue is at 102% for the month and 92% year to date. And next, we'll go to the labor expenses. So this is our schedule of expenses. And as people in the people business, this is our largest area of investment. And we can see that all categories are within budget. When we look at fringe benefits, those are largely proportionate to labor expense. You can see those are on budget. The one area that's up for the month is unemployment and other fringes, and that reflects the timing of the quarterly state of California unemployment expense. If we drop down to services, you can see they're within budget. Highlighted here is the other. And just to give you an idea of what's included in other, that includes the Long Beach Airport space rental for the express service. It includes financial banking expenses, which have been trending up, and then the lease commissions, which were previously captured under depreciation. So that's been added to this category. We go to the next page. Under material and supplies, you can see highlighted is fleet parts and supplies, and that's an area that's trended unfavorably all year. For the month of December, the top three areas of expense there included air compressors, engines, and exhaust gas recirculation coolers, also known as EGRs. Next, we'll drop down to miscellaneous expenses, and dues and subscriptions are up for the month of December. They're within budget for the year. The month of December included membership in COMCHO, the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. You also see highlighted there taxes and fees, and this reflects the expense. It's ongoing discussions with the LA County Office of the Assessor on property taxes. Under total operating expenses, you'll see we're at 93% for the month, 92% year to date. Next, we'll go to the balance sheet. So the balance sheet is a financial statement that provides a snapshot of LBT's financial position at a specific point in time. And this is reflective of as on December 30th, 2023. So the first component we'll look at is assets, and you can see highlighted here is cash and investments. And you'll see there was a decline in December compared to November. And if we drop down to the next, you can see the reason for the decline is the increase in receivables, in particular from the federal government and then local. Next, we'll look at the liabilities section, and you can see trade payables. And the increase in trade payables, the decrease in trade payable reflects the payment of the United Healthcare invoice in December. Under accrued payroll liabilities, you'll see that 11 fewer days were accrued in December compared to November due to the timing of when payroll was done. That completes my report. I do want to give a shout out to Laura Orozco for creating this presentation for us.
Sorry. Thank you, Lisa. This is time for the public to comment on the financial report. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, are there any comments from the board?
Yes,
Fair.
Chair.
Okay. I just want to commend Lisa and her team for the presentation. I'd requested that it be transparent as it is, and you clearly responded to that particular request from the last meeting. So thank you for great presentation together, and it's really helpful for us, I think, to see it visually, and I think for the audience and as well as people on the internet.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Lisa. I echo what Director Angeles said. Thank you very much for putting it on the screen. Also, last year, we were all taking a hit with the natural gas prices. I didn't see it reflected on your report this time. Does that mean that we're in a better place, that it's more favorable now than it was last year?
So our CEO says hope is not a plan. So we know every January and February, natural gas prices tend to go up. And so we don't see that reflected here. But yes, this year, natural gas, we haven't seen the spikes. And we appreciate our partners at the city helping us with natural gas. So yes, we haven't seen that, but it wouldn't surprise us if things did spike during the winter months. So thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I too commend Lisa and her team for an excellent, transparent report for sharing today. Would you mind going back to the topic on miscellaneous under taxes and fees? I wanted to make sure that I heard what was being conveyed regarding the tax assessor's office and what these fees represent.
Absolutely. So this is something we expect will there'll be a favorable determination for us. So Long Beach Transit owns 4 properties. So this one at also 68th Street at LBT2, LBT1 on Anaheim, and then downtown, the Transit Visitor and Information Center. So the county's assessor's office has determined that they expect property taxes on this property. And so we are paying them, but we do not agree with them. And council is addressing that with them. And we expect it'll be resolved. But at this point, we do reflect it in the financials just to be completely transparent.
Thank you.
I want to add, we decided that we will pay the assessment so that we don't have it building up against. But when we win, they'll have to give it back to us. So that's our intent, that we will get the money back once this is clarified, because we should not be paying it.
Thank you. I think that's important to note given the public activities that we're doing here. So, okay, that'll be really great to see if we can get that back in the future. Thank you.
Okay, so does that conclude board comments? I think it does. I think we did not get any public comments, so I'd like to thank you again, Lisa, for your report and the improvements to it. All right, let's move on. Item number 8, recommendation to authorize the president and CEO to increase the president and CEO authorization. I'm not sure I have to read this into the record, do I, Jenny? Okay, thank you. It's long. And now Jim Scott will present item number 8.
Good afternoon, Chair Sutton, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and to all who are assembled here. My name is James Scott, and I am the Executive Director and Vice President of Maintenance and Infrastructure. I am before you today to request the board to authorize the President and CEO for 2 items. 1, to increase the base contract with Miramac Energy Group, and 2, to exercise the first 1-year contract option beginning July 1st, 2024, for the purchase of unleaded gasoline fuel. Long Beach Transit, LBT, operates a diverse fleet of 250 alternatively fueled revenue buses, comprising of 125 compressed natural gas CNG buses, 81 gasoline electric hybrid buses, and 44 battery electric buses, BEBs. At the May 27, 2021 Board of Directors meeting, the board authorized the president and CEO to enter into a 3-year base contract with 2 1-year options with Miramac Energy Group for the purchase of unleaded gasoline fuel at a cost of $7,945,955 for the first 3 years. The purchase price of fuel is tied to an average daily rack rate, the price at which refineries sell gasoline to wholesalers, via a wholesaler daily market index called Oil Price Information Service, OPIS. Merrimack Energy Group, our current supplier, price for unleaded gasoline is 15 cents per gallon below the OPIS price. The original projected costs were based on a per gallon price of $3.50 for unleaded fuel in 2021. In the last year, the price of gasoline increased to an average of $4.10, and our unleaded fuel usage has exceeded 64,000 gallons per month. Gasoline hybrid miles are greater than were estimated by staff, as there have been delays in BEV charging infrastructure due to several post-pandemic economic conditions, such as supply chain delays and material shortages. Due to these factors, staff is requesting to increase the original authorization amount of the base 3-year contract. Funds to increase the base contract have been planned and approved in the current year's operating budget. Funds to exercise the first 1-year contract option will be included in the following year's operating budget. The fiscal year 2024 budget for unleaded fuel rate is projected at $4.75 per gallon. Staff is requesting LBT's Board of Directors to authorize the President and CEO to 1. Increase the President and CEO authorization amount of the 3-year contract by an additional $1,990,000 of the previously approved contract of $7,945,955 with Merrimack Energy Group for the purchase of unleaded gasoline fuel, for a revised total authorization amount not to exceed $9,935,955, and to exercise contract option 1 with Merrimack Energy Group for the purchase of unleaded gasoline fuel at a cost of $4,025,633 for the 1-year contract option, including a 10% contingency. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion.
Let's do the motion first, and then we'll go to the public comment, and then we'll bring it in for questions. All right.
Motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
Thank you, Tanua. Do I have a second? Thank you, Eduardo. Okay, now I'll ask for public comment. Is there any public comment? Hearing none. Now I'll ask for board comment. Brandy.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, James, for the report. I just have a quick question. Completely understand leaving it out here for the sake of brevity, but where it says there have been delays in the BEV charging infrastructure, do we have a more quantitative assessment of what those delays are, both in time and cost? And can you elucidate a little bit of the team's plan for mitigating those impacts?
Well, by this time, we thought we would be at 60 hybrid gasoline buses. We're currently at 81. So we're about 20, 21, more than we thought we would be. We're currently working on our phase 4 build out, and we're currently working on a bus procurement. So, we're hoping that we'll have phase 4 up and running in the next 4 to 5 years. And that would allow us to completely transition LBT1 to battery electric.
Awesome. Thank you.
Chris, did you have a question?
So just so I understand, we're paying, some amount under like a spot price for a wholesale price. So we don't hedge at all.
We pay the rack rate.
Right.
Yeah. And we get 15 cents under the rack rate. So it's whatever that daily market rate is, which is the wholesale price index for fuel. Our contract is to pay 15 cents below, 15 cents per gallon below that rate.
Okay, but there's no hedging. There's no ceiling on the upward exposure if the spot price changed. They asked just because in the financial report we talked about natural gas, and the reason it's so much cheaper this year, we actually have the cheapest natural gas in the state of California right now, is because we entered into hedging contracts, which you know, there's pluses and minuses too, but I just wanted to understand that.
You want?
Fine. So thank you. Yes. No, we made the determination. Obviously, this is a fleet that's, in terms of fueling, that's phasing out for Long Beach Transit, and is one of three types of fuel that we use. So proportionately, although this is a lot of money, I don't want to claim that. Proportionally, this is not a big, actually, part of our budget, and we expect it'll phase out. We thought we'd be farther along than we are now, but we expected to continue to phase out. And so we did a procurement so that we would get the best price for whatever volume of gas we order.
Understood. Appreciate that. Thanks.
I have a quick question. So do you anticipate putting this back out after this terms of this contract in terms of doing a request for proposal or a competitive process for selection after the expiration of this particular contract, in light of what Lisa just said?
So we have one more option that we're gonna. So the reason this contract ends in June 30th, the reason we're here is so we can negotiate with them on the next year. That's why we're early with it, to make sure that we can get the best price. And we have one more option in it. So in the next year, we look at where we are with getting. Like we said, we're procuring some battery electric buses. If we get those and we can operate those, we will probably retire some of these buses and reduce the number of gallons that we use. So that's our intent in the next year as we exercise the first option, but we have another option. So it's 2 years before this contract ends. So we will make a decision as we get closer into the second option year.
Well, all I can say is I just got back from Middle Tennessee, and you pay $2.69 a gallon, and that was the lowest I found.
Nice.
So we're doing our part here, unfortunately. Okay. Are there any more comments from the board? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Jen, can you do a roll call for us?
Chair Sutton,
Here. Aye.
Vice Chair Mejia, Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Anyorve, Director Rawling,
Aye.
Director Thrashentuk,
Aye.
Vice Chair Mejia has been excused.
Motion passed. Thank you. Now we'll move on to item 9. Now Ashley Lang will present agenda item 9.
Good afternoon, Chair Sutton, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and to all those who are assembled here. Today, my name is Ashley Liang, and I'm the treasurer for Long Beach Transit. I'm here before you today to present the fiscal year 2023 annual comprehensive financial report, which is also commonly referred to as the ACFR, and this is an information-only item. The ACFR is a set of financial reports along with narratives, notes, and supporting statistical data to provide the public with a transparent overview of the agency's financial activities and performance for the fiscal year. ACFR serves as a companion document to the operating and capital budget that is presented to the board in May of each year. Whereas the budget looks forward to the upcoming year, the ACFR presents a snapshot of the accumulation of financial activities during the year. The report is sectioned off into 3 main categories. The introduction section provides general information about LBT services, accomplishments, successes, and challenges. Next, the financial section is further divided into 3 separate sections. The first is the independent auditor's report, followed by management discussion and analysis, which is also commonly referred to as MD&A, and then finally the financial statements and accompanying notes. The report concludes with a statistical section. But before diving in, staff is proud to present this wonderful recognition of LBT's 33rd year in receiving the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting that is rewarded by the Government Finance Officers Association. This acknowledgement is in recognition that LPT's fiscal year 22 ACFR has reached beyond the minimum requirements of the generally accepted accounting principles in preparing the report that evidence the spirit of transparency and full disclosure. The attainment of this award for 33 consecutive years reflects the commitment of LBT and its staff to meet the highest professionalism and dedication year after year. Now let's take a look at the introduction section. With this section, you will find an overview of LBT, its accomplishments and initiatives, successes, as well as challenges and opportunities. In the following slides, I will highlight some of these key areas. So throughout the year and through its 3 service changes, the agency has continued to incrementally restore service that was modified during the pandemic. By increasing frequency as well as early morning and late evening services, LBT operated at 87% of pre-pandemic service levels by the end of fiscal year 23. Also in fiscal year 23, LBT received 8 35-foot zero-emission buses as part of its commitment to transitioning to all zero-emission buses by 2030. An additional 12 were delivered in the current fiscal year, which brings LBT's total zero-emission fleet to a total of 44 buses. The popular Gold Pass program was extended into its 3rd year as a continuation of the pilot program that was originally launched in November of 2021. Under this partnership, participating school district and also transit agencies, also of the K-12 and community school districts, eligible students are provided unlimited access to fixed route services through the use of a tap card. The program has seen tremendous growth in ridership throughout LBT's service area, as well as across the entire county. And in March of 2023, LBT celebrated its 60th year of connecting communities and moving people, making everyday life better. To kick off the milestone, LBT was joined by public and elected officials from local, state, and federal entities who have supported LBT in its mission. The celebratory year was commemorated with events and activities that lasted throughout the year, that looked back at its history and looked forward to its future as the organization grows its sustainable fleet and adapts to the changing needs of the communities. Now we'll look at LBT's successes during the year. Okay. 2 of the key performance indicators, or KPIs, that reflect some of its successes were increasing mean distance between failures and recovery or fare recovery ratio. For MDBF, LBT reached a 10-year high of more than 4,800 miles between interruptions. We'd like to thank Jim Scott and his maintenance team for improving LBT's safety and service quality. The fare recovery ratio illustrates the portion of the operating cost that is covered by fare revenue. It is generally used by transit and regulatory agencies as a measure of system efficiency. In fiscal year 23, LBT's fare recovery ratio reached 8.1%, up from 6.7% in the prior year. Although this improvement is a recovery from the previous year, as you can see, the agency's fare recovery ratio was 15.3% just 5 years ago in fiscal year 29. And of course, with successes also comes challenges and opportunities, and these notably were increasing preventable accidents per 100,000 platform miles and decreasing passengers per revenue hour. Preventable accidents per 100,000 platform miles measures the safety of LBT's operators as they serve the community, and this measure increased from 1.4 in fiscal year 20 to 1.4 in fiscal year 23, up from 1.3 in fiscal year 2022. LBT's transit service delivery, along with our training and safety departments, partner to ensure that are diligent about training new and current operators to make sure the skills and stress the importance of safety. Okay, thank you. In fiscal year 23, we also saw a decline in average passengers per revenue hour, This KPI measures route productivity, which is used to determine if the level of service provided is reasonably matched with the distribution of demand throughout the system. The average passengers per revenue hour decreased from 29.5 in fiscal year 22 to 26.0 in fiscal year 23. This data, along with other factors, are reviewed and considered during service change analysis. The next section of the ACFR is the financial section. This section begins with the independent auditor's report, followed by MD&A, and concludes with LBT's financial statements and accompanying notes. The financial statements are audited by a third-party independent auditing firm, Wines Inc., or is headquartered here in Long Beach, California. At the conclusion of the audit, the auditors issued the opinion that LBT's financial statements were fairly presented in all material aspects and in accordance with the accounting principles generally accepted in the United States. The MD&A and financial statements highlight the agency's financial condition and activities. First, we'll review LBT's net position, which includes the assets and liabilities as of the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. At the bottom of this chart, you will see total assets, which increased to $214.2 million from $203.2 million in fiscal year 22. If you look at the line above that, that is a net capital assets, which was the primary contributor of overall increases. This line item increased from 114.2 to 124.9 and included such assets as additions of the new battery electric buses, charging stations and related infrastructure, automatic passenger counter upgrades, maintenance of the fleet, construction projects here at the corporate office, and other capital projects. And in fiscal year 23, we also saw implementation and expansion of two key governmental accounting pronouncements that were categorized under capital assets. The first was GASB 87, which is short for Governmental Accounting Standards Board Pronouncement 87 for lease accounting, which reflects the agency's financial impact both as a lessee and lessor at the corporate office. The second was GASB 96, which is, this is a mouthful, it's a subscription-based information technology arrangements, which are IT-related right-to-use software arrangements for things such as Microsoft 365 and Hastus, which is LBT's service planning software and other software, so we use on a day-to-day basis. The next section of the financial statement shows the agency's liabilities as of June 30th, 2023. The bottom line of the chart shows total liabilities, which decreased from $129.7 million down to $127.4 million. This minor decrease is a reflection of month-over-month and year-over-year reflection of operations in the corresponding liabilities. These balances do also include the liabilities that were mentioned for the leases and also subscription-based IT arrangements that were previously mentioned reflected in assets. Awesome. Next is a statement of changes in net position, which is what we commonly call the income statement. For operating revenues, the two major contributing factors were the increase in passenger fare revenue, showing the first line of the chart that you see in front of you, which increased from $7.1 million to $9.2 million as the agency resumed fare collection in September of fiscal year 22. The two lines down are under other revenue, increased from $1.1 to $2.4 million, which included fuel tax credits and tenant income. The counterpart to LBT's operating revenue is subsidy revenue, which are primarily generated by sales tax. So presented here is a graphical representation of LBT's subsidy revenue for fiscal year 23, totaling roughly $100.3 million. And that is a $2.5 million increase from the previous year. Approximately 39% of LBT's subsidy revenue comes from federal and state sources, while the remaining derives from local sources. Now, taking a look at expenses, as people in the people business, the largest area of expense is in personnel, which includes fringe benefits and wages that represent 68% of the $116.1 million in fiscal year 23 expenses. The last section of the ACFR is the statistical section that begins on page 64. This section provides a broad range of supplementary data of LBT's historical history and financial numbers, with most dating back 10 years. The contents include financial trends, revenue sources, demographic and economic information from the city of Long Beach, pension information, and grants information. Okay. So LBT's annual comprehensive financial report presents a snapshot of LBT's LBT Transit, Long Beach Transit at the end of each year, and LBT's accountants, analysts, and administrators work very hard to compile this report to ensure that the agency meets its legal and regulatory requirements, as well as keep all its stakeholders well informed. I would like to thank everyone who worked on this report, with whom are here today. So starting with Terry Kuhn, Manager of Finance, Jennifer Maxwell, Manager of Capital Programs, Erica Calderon, Comptroller, Samantha Eilenfeld, Budget Analyst, Irma Pamplona, Financial Analyst, and Laura Roscoe, Administrative Assistant of Finance and Budget. All under the guidance of Lisa Patton, our Executive Director and VP of Finance and Budget. Through this process, staff remains focused on our mission, dedicated to connecting communities and moving people, making everyday life better. Now this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, is there any board comment?
Yes, Chair. Thank you, Ashley, for that. And also, I appreciate you listing all the names of your team involved for their accuracy and dedication to getting this done. 143 pages, maybe. Last year was 144, I believe. So, but no, thank you for the report and to your team.
Any other public comment? I'm sorry, any other board comment? All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Ashley. And thank you, team Ashley. Appreciate it. All right. We'll move on to item 10. And now Jennifer Maxwell will present agenda item 10.
Good afternoon, Chair Sutton, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and to all assembled here today. My name is Jennifer Maxwell, and I'm the manager of capital programs in the Finance and Budget Department. I'm here before you today to present the fiscal year 2023 single audit report. This is an information-only item. The single audit was conducted by Wines, Inc., an independent auditing firm here in Long Beach. Wines has served the accounting needs of nonprofit organizations since 1926 and is one of California's largest regional CPA firms. The single audit is an organization-wide financial statement and federal awards audit. It is intended to provide assurance to the federal government that adequate internal controls are in place and in compliance with federal program requirements. The independent auditor's reports are included to enable the reader to increase their understanding of LBT's grant expenditure activities. The independent audit involved examining evidence supporting the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements, internal controls, and compliance, thereby assessing the accounting principles used and evaluating the overall financial statements provided by LBT for the end of the fiscal year 2023. There are several reports included in the document indicating the various results of LBT's external audit. I would like to invite you to open the single audit reports and grant activity reports for the year ended June 30, 2023, as I will be pointing you to various pages, beginning with page 2. On page 2 of the report, it summarizes the results of the independent auditor's report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance. In terms of internal control over financial reporting, the report notes that the audit did not identify any deficiencies in internal controls that the auditors would consider to be material weaknesses. In terms of compliance, the results of the audit test disclose no instances of non-compliance. Next, please find page 4 of the report. Here on page 4, it summarizes the results of the independent auditor's report on compliance for each major program and on internal control over compliance required by the uniform guidance. In the auditor's opinion, Long Beach Transit complied with government auditing standards, uniform administrative requirements and cost principles, audit requirements for federal awards. Next, please find page 9 of the report. On page 9, we have a summary of the auditor's results. On this page, the auditors note that there were no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, and no instances of noncompliance with respect to the internal control over financial reporting. Next, please find page 10 of the report. On page 10 of the report, the LBT's compliance with the State of California Transportation Development Act, or TDA. The results of the auditor's tests disclosed that the allocated funds were expended in conformance with the rules and regulation of the TDA. Next, please find page 14 of the report. On page 14, the report includes the independent accountant's report on applying agreed upon procedures, or AUP. The following is a summary of the standards set by the Federal Transit Administration, or FTA, that explains the intent of these procedures, which are to determine that 1. A system is in place and maintained for recording data in accordance with the National Transit Database, also known as NTD, definitions. The correct data is being measured and no systematic errors exist. 2. That source documents are available to support the reported data and maintained for FTA review and audit. 3. A system of internal controls is in place. It's placed to ensure the data collection process is accurate and the recording of the system and reported comments are not altered. 4. That documents are reviewed and signed by a supervisor when required. 5. Data collection meets FTA requirements. 6. Data is consistent with reporting periods and other facts known about transit operations. Finally, please turn to page 16 of the report. The results of each procedure begin on this page. The agreed upon procedures include 25 different areas reporting and maintaining in accordance with the NTD requirements definitions set forth in 49 CFR Part 630 of the Federal Register and presented in the 2023 NTT Policy Manual. The results for 45 out of 20, I'm sorry, 45. For 25 out of 25 procedures, the report indicates that LBT has followed internal guidelines. In summary, there were no findings for LBT's 2023 single audit report. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, is there any board comment? All right, hearing none. Thank you and your team. We really appreciate it.
I just want to add one thing. These are some of the most dry reports that you'd ever find. And I think that the staff has done a really good job of presenting them with some zest and vitality in it, because you can't fall asleep at night, you take up one of these reports, and I guarantee you, you will go to sleep. So I want to thank them for the work that they do in making this look, so interesting when, because that's what they live. They live that life. So thank you all very much for the work that they put into putting it here today. So.
And that was great. Congratulations on another year, 33 years, I guess, on your award. Really, that's great. And, auditors, they're always trying to find something. So the fact they didn't, that's saying quite a bit. All right. Now we have item 11, election of officers. Now we have the election of officers for the Long Beach Transit Board of Directors and have 3 positions to fill for calendar year 2024. The chairperson, vice chair, and secretary treasurer. I'd like to open the nominations for the position of chairperson of the board of the Long Beach Transit Board of Directors. Do we have any nominations? Ro?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate you, David Sutton.
Thank you.
For another year of your continued leadership on the board.
we have any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, let's do a roll call vote on that. And
Chair Sutton,
I don't know, I always say here. I am here.
Vice Chair Mejia, Director Angeles, Director Onyorve,
Aye.
Director Rawlings, Director Thrash Untook.
Aye.
Vice Chair Mejia has been excused.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we'll move on to Vice Chair. Do we have a nomination for Vice Chair? And as you know, Abigail was doing Vice Chair before.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Director Anorve.
Okay.
Thank you, Director. I appreciate that. But I kindly will not accept the nomination this year for Vice Chair. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Abigail Mejia. Are there any other nominations? Okay. Can we do a roll call vote for that?
Chair Sutton,
Aye.
Vice Chair Mejia, Director Angeles, Director Onyorve.
I'm sorry to clarify. What are we voting on right now? The Vice Chair?
Vice Chair nomination.
Whose name?
Under Abigail.
Oh, aye. Sorry. I was doing
No.
this.
Completely understand.
Who's
Director
on
Rawlings.
first?
Aye.
Director Thrash Untook.
Aye.
Vice Chair Mejia has been is excused.
Thank you. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to know that she is now, for the second term, our Vice Chair. Now I'd like to open up nominations for Secretary Treasurer. Is there a nomination for Secretary Treasurer? Ms. Tanua.
I'd like to nominate Director Anorve.
Right. Can I have a motion to accept that nomination? I'll move. Isn't that proper procedure? Do we do that or not?
We did.
Oh, we didn't do it. Yes. I'm out of order. I know. So the question is, am I in order now? Are there any other nominations? I'll ask that. How's that? Hearing none, we'll move on to the vote.
Chair Sutton,
Aye.
Vice Chair Mejia, Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Onyorve, Director Rawlings,
Aye.
Director Thrash Untook.
Aye.
Nothing like a live recorded meeting to really put you in your place and do a great job of humiliating you. So if I wasn't humble before this meeting, I am now. Item 12. Now we have another opportunity for public
Sure.
comment.
We should at least congratulate and take a moment. And,
Oh, we should.
Yes, our
Oh, okay. Okay, the chair is David Sutton, the vice chair is Abigail Mejia, and the secretary treasurer is Raul Onorve.
congratulations.
Oh, okay. Now can I ask for public comment? All right. Is there any public comment? Hearing none. Really? No public comment? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on.
Hold on, let me go ahead and call on Zoom. Is there anybody on the Zoom who would like to public comment? No.
Okay. Now we're going to move into closed session, and we do have one public comment or one comment on closed session.
Correct, Chair. We received a comment via email from Louis Schmidt, Ashmere representative. That comment will be made available to the board here shortly. We will no longer be reading public comments received written via email.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask for public comment before we go into closed session, but I will ask for it after we get back, right?
Yeah, before.
I'm sorry, before? Before. Okay. Is there public comment before we go into closed session? Hearing none, we'll move into closed session.
Okay, Chair.
All right, thanks, and welcome back. Appreciate those of you who have stayed while we were in closed session. Board now reconvenes from closed session. And will the General Counsel provide the closed session report on agenda item 13?
Yes, thank you, Chair Sutton. The board and Mr. McDonald, council met on the listed agenda items in closed session. No action was taken and no direction was given. That concludes my closed session report.
Thank you, General Counsel, and move to the next item, item number 14, board requests. Do I hear any board requests? Hearing none, we'll move on. Oh, I'm sorry.
So, well, thank you so much, Chair. One of the things that's on my mind, especially as we have several new directors here, I'd love to schedule an opportunity for several site visits for several of our facilities for the members that have come in. That can be done over the course of several months throughout the year. So I'd love to encourage that to go back on the agenda. And as we look at February 4th, I believe is Transit Equity Day. Just wanted to make sure that the agency, which I'm sure it is focused on making sure we commemorate that in a number of ways, and happy to chat with staff about how we might do that. And wanted that acknowledged at our board meeting today, since we won't meet again until afterward. Thank you, Chair.
Well, thank you. Those are great ideas. I've been here a while, and I'd like to do those field visits as well. And also, we'd like to hear about the plans for Transit Day, if Long Beach Transit has plans for that. So I don't know, Ken, how you suggest that we get that information, but if you can give us a one-page brief on that, that would be terrific. We have Rosa Parks to thank for her bravery, and has really made a difference in this country. And it's a day to commemorate and a day to get people to try transit. And I just wince every time I see a TV show and the actor says, "I would never take the bus." And they're missing out on a great adventure. And it really is worth trying, especially Long Beach Transit. You guys have got the best buses, the cleanest buses, the best staff, and operators that greet you with a smile. And we are so proud of our agency and our employees and the service we provide. Are there any other comments from the board? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to adjournment. The next meeting will be held on February 22nd, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve that recommendation? Oh, for adjournment, that is.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, hearing none opposed, we will adjourn.